Hi there, hope you are well. Martin here. And have you ever had life hit you sideways and knock you off track? Have you ever had something in life, maybe in business or your relationships, your health, your well-being, your finances, that isn't quite working the way you'd like it to? In these moments, it can be tricky. Sometimes we can find ourselves stuck. And we also find ourselves asking questions. And sometimes the questions we ask don't really move us forward. And so they can keep us stuck because no matter what, if something's not working or if something happens, we're always going to have some kind of emotional reaction to that. And if we stay in that place for too long, it just doesn't serve us. But sometimes it's difficult, right? Sometimes we don't know how to move out of that. And the sorts of questions we ask sometimes, very often if something happens to us, it's, oh, why me? Why is this happening to me again? There's a string of things that you'll go, this has happened and this has happened, and now this on top of that. Oh, well, why me? What on earth? Give me a break. We can start asking questions of the universe and of ourselves. And sometimes it's like, oh well, it happened to me because I'm being punished, or I'm not good enough, or I can't cope, or what was I thinking in the first place? So sometimes when stuff happens, or indeed some stuff doesn't happen in our life, we can really feel stuck, and we stay stuck in an emotional state. We ask certain questions and then we don't really move forward. We stay stuck for much longer than we need to. And this is what I want to talk about today. This is the whole premise of this. And welcome to the car. It's actually a hire car, and all will become clear as to why I'm doing it here in a moment. Something's happened in my life recently, last week, in fact, as I record this, that has brought this into sharp focus. So I just thought I would share with you my experiences of how life's hit me hard, knocked me off track, and then how I've responded to that. My immediate thoughts and the immediate questions that I ask. And I must admit, this happened last week, and last week I was not not in the zone to disseminate lessons. But this week it all kind of was coming together, and I thought, you know what, this could be really helpful for you, or indeed somebody that you know that might be just going through a tricky period right now. So if that sounds good, if this sounds like it might be of use, then give me a hell yeah in the comments. um, so what is this all about? So in terms of my story, last week I was involved in a car crash, which would probably come as a surprise to you, because you don't know. I don't usually talk about stuff going on in the behind the scenes in my life. I'm not here for attention or sympathy or anything like that. I know people post on social media, I've got a sniffle and a cold, and expecting that validation. This isn't what this is about. If you know me and you know my story, it's about lived experience, the life lessons from that experience, and then sharing that. And so that's the purpose of this. Obviously, thank you for your well wishes and your kind thoughts and your messages. I really do appreciate them. I don't seek them, but I do appreciate them. But what I wanted to demonstrate was that life can hit us, and in this case, a car hit me. So I was coming off of a dual carriageway, um, down a slip road to a big roundabout that then led to a motorway. So came down, a car was coming around the roundabout, and I slowed down to let that car go past, but the car behind me didn't see me and hit me at speed from behind. Now, all credit to the driver, they did try and swerve. So what happened is they literally took the back corner of our car off. And with me steering the one way and him hitting me in that way, I managed to keep it to the curb. Whereas if he'd hit me front on, in terms of the back, he'd have pushed me, because I was pushed 20 meters down the road. He'd have pushed me into the ongoing vehicle, and I'd have been hit from the side as well. So really, I'm considering this a seventh chance at life. This was another close call. If you know my story, I've died once and come back. I've been taking my last two breaths on my living room floor twice. I decided to end it all, and I've now been involved in two car accidents that could have ended very differently. That alone, you can imagine the questions in my head in terms of that. But that's what's happened. And probably not as I'm not as animated as I usually am, because my neck and my back are not very happy, and it's going to take some time to recover. But I walked away, and thankfully everybody walked away. And so this happens, and it would be very easy for me to go, oh, after everything I've been through, what I've just said, plus those 20 years where all that stress turned into high stress, turned into depression, generalized anxiety disorder, insomnia, liver disease, burnout, self-harm, and then deciding to end it all. It's like, after all of that and all the experiences I've had, I was already on my 6th chance of life, and the universe throws this one at me as well. Very easy for me to sit there and go, what the heck? It would be very easy for me to think that I'm being punished. And there are a lot of people out there when a series of things happens to them through life, because they do. You put 2 and 2 together, but you make 5, and you think you're being punished. And clearly that's not a healthy way to look at it. It's not a positive way of looking at it. If your quality of life, if you think you're being punished all the time, you're always just waiting for the next big thing to happen. You're almost bracing yourself for it to happen. And there it goes. There's another thing. And it just makes you feel really, really low. You're not going to feel very grateful for life or positive or optimistic about life. But it would be very easy for me to fall into that rabbit hole. Very easy. But here's what happened. Immediately, first and foremost, I'm walking away. I'm alive. I've got air in my lungs. If you know my morning routine, I got blood in my veins, air in my lungs, sun is shining, got a beautiful family. It's going to be a good day. So as long as I've got air in my lungs and blood in my veins, this is a good day. Yeah, just had an accident. Not pleasant, not expected, not great by any way, shape or form, but I'm walking away, which means I can do better, I can be better, I can make choices, I can make decisions, I can use this as fuel, I can learn from this, I can move forward. That's first and foremost. And if you go straight to gratitude with anything, and that's the basis, that's the basic, maybe it's the foundation of all gratitude, right? For you to be alive, that's it. If you're alive, then you're alive. You can do something, you can be better, you can do better. You can make those choices. You can spend time with people. You can do what you want. These sorts of situations, and even situations where it's not quite as dramatic as this, can really put that into sharp focus. So, but if you go straight to gratitude rather than why me, you're in a different state. You're in a different place to ask different questions. And so I guess the first lesson from this is gratitude. And what else can we then learn? So that was my immediate thought, and it then brings into sharp focus my health, about valuing my health. And certainly as time has gone on, and my neck and back are not great, and I'm not able to do some of the things that I usually do, including doing that school run. If you know my morning routine, where I do my school run with my youngest, we have bonding time, and the exercise, and then the personal development on the way home, and I do that again in the afternoon, and it's just my favorite time of the day. I can't do that in the same way. I'm hobbling around at a snail's pace. So that it's very real in terms of the impact that this has had. But I still got my health. I can still rebuild from here. And it does make me reconsider and go, right, I need to take this seriously, because look, I had a little bit of a knock and you can't do this, but what about down the line if you don't look after yourself and stay healthy? You want to be around doing all these adventures with your kids and your family, and take them on even bigger, crazier adventures. Then you need your health margin for that. So it brings that kind of thing into sharp focus. So we've got the gratitude, being alive, we've got sharp focus of our health. And maybe those two things alone could help you look at certain situations differently. For me, it's then about looking at what the life lessons are. Throughout my journey, I had an epiphany in therapy when I was coming out of depression, which was that this all happened for a reason. All that trial, error, suffering, pain that I went through, that my family went through, it happened for a reason. And it happened for a reason that, the universe believed I did have the courage and the strength to get through it, even though I didn't believe I did. And it placed people in my life that could help me, support me, guide me, and get me through it when I didn't think I had that courage and strength. And that on the other side of all the trials and the tribulations, that I would be able to share my story and my life lessons so other people didn't go through that. Because some people aren't as lucky to have some of the resources that were at my disposal in terms of medical stuff in our county, or indeed the people around them. So I truly, honestly, with every fiber of my body, believe it happened for a reason. The universe had a plan, and that was the guiding light. And that's why I show up. Doesn't matter what. If I get one like, no likes on my comments, on my posts, on my messages, on my videos, if I can help one person, and I'm blessed to be able to help a great many people now, but if I just help one person through my lived experience so that they don't suffer as much as I did and my family did, that's a job well done. And so that's why I keep showing up. So the message there is that, that we need to do that. I've got my health, I've got my gratitude, but things happen for a reason. So I'm always seeking the meaning, and the meaning is something that one of my mentors, Tony Robbins, taught me about. Find the meaning in it, the positive meaning in things. And so my whenever anything happens, and again, it happened with this, I will immediately ask the universe. I literally look up to the sky and go, okay, well, that was a bit dramatic. What's the lesson? What are you trying to teach me? What have I got to learn from this? And it's not a driving lesson. It wasn't my fault. It was just one of those things. This is about a life lesson. What is it? And I must admit, I'm thinking it's a little bit dramatic, a bit overly dramatic, universe. I'm sure I could have learned this lesson in a different way, but okay, this is how you wanted to present it. So I look at the universe and I look for meaning. So I'm asking different questions. I'm not saying, oh, why me? Why has this happened again? Why is this 97th thing that happened? Man, the universe really must want me out of here. If it keeps trying to knock me off, come on. I'm asking a different quality of question, and therefore I get a different quality answer. So I look at the universe and say, what's the lesson here? So yeah, okay, gratitude for my life, gratitude for health. Cool. Anything more than that? Because I do have that already. There is a heightened sense of health now, but I'll take that. An initial question, answer from the universe was about processes, systems, and customer service, funnily enough. The police were amazing at the scene, really treated me well and dealt with the situation well with all of us. My insurer, and I'm not going to name names or anything, I'm not into that, but safe to say, diabolical. Truly diabolical. And it brought into sharp focus to meet people where they're at. And this is something that, I do pride myself on, meeting people where they're at and giving them what they want and need. Not what I want and need, what they want and need in that moment. And that was not coming through from the insurer in any shape or form. So, and continued to for days afterwards. So there was a lesson there about, right, okay, a business lesson, right, we're dealing with people, and when I'm doing one-on-one stuff, I'm there, I'm in the moment with people. As my business grows and the online part of it grows, okay, let's just take that and make sure that automated processes or the systems and processes I have in place meet the people where they're at. It doesn't turn them off. It doesn't, throw them away. It doesn't make them feel unheard. So, okay, that was a good lesson. I'll take that. But I then thought, well, that's cool, and I'll have that. But universe, what, really putting me through this? me having a car crash to learn a business lesson about systems and processes? Surely you've got something better than that for me. There's got to be more to it. I'm looking for the bigger, the wider lesson that can be taught, that I can learn from. And here's the interesting thing that happened, because for a few days afterwards, and obviously the injuries were coming out and it was difficult. And yes, I had an emotional reaction to it, and I've been replaying the accident and figuring it out. And whenever I go in a car or drive a car now, whenever anybody brakes, I have a horrible feeling in my stomach and I'm just bracing for impact. So I'm gonna have to work that through. I'm not sleeping, I'm in pain. There's a lot going on. But I was feeling low, admittedly, because you would, right? We're not robots. But the important thing is to not stay in that place. And that's what I said earlier about staying stuck. I'm asking questions so that I don't stay stuck. And I'm looking for meaning. And so I've got a bit of meaning, and it's like, okay, can we build on that? Here's what happened. I have a community. I have a Facebook group, but it's a family. It's the Extraordinary Life family. And in that, I share motivational videos and we celebrate successes, we do events. And every Thursday, I share a video training from our archives. We've got over 70 hours of free video training in the group. It's a free group, free community. And I've got over 70 hours of training in there about how to live a more extraordinary life. And we talk about mindset and life and business and money and well-being and fitness and relationships. I mean, we've got more free training in there than the most paid membership sites, right? It's just how I am. I just want to add massive value. Every Thursday, I take one of the trainings from the archives and I share it, because I don't want 70 hours of training just to sit there. So I put a spotlight on it every Thursday. Now, you've got to bear in mind, these are scheduled. I scheduled it, I'm not there posting. If you know me, I'm prolific on social media. I'm not manually posting every post that I do. I've obviously thought about it, curated stuff, and then I schedule it. Well, these posts get scheduled for the Facebook group. It gets scheduled up to 3 months in advance. So you can schedule 3 months in advance. So these things go out. I know what I'm doing. I know what I want to share, and then I just schedule it. So I have no clue when the week comes along, which one. I haven't kept track of, this week it's going to be this. It's kind of as much of a surprise to me, 6 weeks down the line as anybody else. So here's the interesting thing. Last week, so a few days after the accident, the training that I shared was a training that I did entitled Pain is Real, Suffering is a Choice. Now, I've done a couple of trainings on this, but pain is real, suffering is a choice. The week of the accident, weeks in advance, I scheduled that one and it landed. And I looked at that, I couldn't believe it. It was like, I could absolutely concur. Pain is real because I'm feeling it, but suffering is a choice. For me to remain low, to feel low, to maybe not ask the right questions, for me to suffer as a result of this accident. And my immediate reaction was, yeah, pain is real, but I refuse to suffer. It was like, wow, that is a great message. That I will take that message. And pain is real, suffering is a choice is something that, again, my mentor Tony Robbins introduced me to as a concept. And it was also introduced through Viktor Frankl and his book Man's Search for Meaning, where he talks about being in a concentration camp and his family was killed and all manner of just horrific stuff happening to him and the people around him, and how he managed to, the thing that the Nazis were not going to take from him was his mind. And so, yes, the pain was very, very real, but he refused to suffer, and he got through it, and he helped his fellow campmates. And it's a harrowing tale, but it's such an inspirational tale. And it's where this whole concept of pain is real, suffering is a choice comes from. And like I said, I've done a couple of trainings here. What are the odds that I actually did that? What are the odds that I actually scheduled that post, that training on that week? Here's where it gets a little bit more spooky. A little bit more spooky. The following day, I kid you not, the following day, Tony Robbins, my mentor Tony, who has got thousands of posts, right? Thousands of things he can talk about. What did he post the following day? One sentence. Literally did a post that was one sentence long, no image. But pain is real. Suffering is a choice. Are you kidding me? I will take that. Okay, universe, I take that. This is the message. I need to lean into this, that, yeah, life can be painful. Things can happen that are painful. Accidents happen. They're painful. But for us to suffer, that's a choice. If we choose to do nothing with it, that's a choice. If we choose not to refine, to adapt, to ask different questions, to get support, that's a choice. And it's such a buzz to find a meaning like that. It is so, I can now see why the universe would put me through something physical to remind me that pain is real. Physical pain, because it doesn't get any more painful than physical pain. Immediate. I've had all the mental pain and anguish, and that I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But that physical pain is very immediate. But refuse to suffer, Martin. I love that. And if that is a message that you can take away, other areas of your life where, yeah, it's painful, because what I saw was that, yes, this was relevant to this particular moment, this particular incident. But before this, there are areas, just a couple of areas in my life that I wasn't 100% happy with, that were just kind of bothering me. And maybe you've got those as well. And the thing is, the more they carry on, the more they sort of fester, the more painful they become. They kind of spill over into other areas of life, right? Other areas of life might be absolutely fine and brilliant, and you go, and I'm blessed to have many of those areas. But then just one or two, the longer they creep on, it affects everything. So the pain of that, either not happening or happening, is real. But are we doing anything about it? Because the suffering is a choice. If we continue to let those things fester, if we continue to let those things kind of go into the other areas of our life and start having that negative impact and that detrimental impact, then that's a choice, because we're choosing not to do anything about it. Because just not doing anything about something is as much of a choice as it is doing something about it. It is intentional and it is deliberate. So there were actually a couple of areas in my life that I just wasn't happy with beforehand, before the accident. And they were starting to cause me pain, and a different type of pain. This has now brought it into sharp focus to go do something about it. Because remember, you're suffering as a result. And that's a choice, Martin. Now I've got this to deal with right now, and there's going to be a little bit of recovery going on here, and it's going to take some time. But I'm blessed with that. I'm blessed with my health. I'm blessed with being here. I'm blessed with family. I'm blessed to be able to make choices and decisions to deal with some of those other areas of life that maybe I've been suffering a little bit in. And I don't need to. That's the lesson I've been learning. Over the last week, unexpected happens. Car crash happens. Not great. A little bit over dramatic from the universe. But from it, gratitude, instant gratitude, baseline gratitude, because you can do something different, you can be better, you can do better as a result of being alive. What's the meaning? What can I learn from this? Be that systems or processes and meeting people where they're at. And be that a deeper meaning of pain can be real in many shapes or forms, in many different areas of life, but suffering is very much a choice. And so when we ask different questions, we don't stay stuck. And that's what that suffering is. It's staying stuck. So we don't need to stay stuck. We can ask different questions. We can get different results. We can move forward positively. So the fact this has happened, not great, pretty inconvenient to say the least, but I'm moving forward positively, optimistically, with greater meaning going forward. This is what I wanted to share with you. I hope you found it useful. I hope you found it of value for you or somebody that you know, that you care about. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you. This is a 25-minute video. I've probably been talking a little bit slower than usual, but I hope this has been valuable. I hope this is got you thinking, and please do share. Think about the areas of your life where maybe this is just not working, and maybe you've just been suffering for a little bit too long, and so maybe you've just got to ask different questions. And if anything I've said has helped along that, I mean, share in the comments what those things are. What are the kind of questions you used to ask versus some of the questions maybe you're going to ask now? Get it out there into the universe. You'll help yourself, you'll help other people as well. And because sharing is caring, right? But we're sharing to learn, sharing to embed what we know, sharing to help other people, sharing to manifest a better version of ourselves, by declaring, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And so it's been a privilege and a pleasure to deliver this one for you. I hope you found this valuable. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And just remember also that you don't have to do this alone. None of what I've done over the last week and none of what I'm now going to be doing going forward is me doing it alone. I have to have people around me. That's been my journey for the last 27 years. I wouldn't be here if I was alone. So please do reach out to people. If this has got you thinking, somebody you trust, talk it through with them. And if you don't know who to speak to, there's no big call to action here. That's not the intention of this video. If you don't know who to speak to, then, and this is resonated, then just reach out to me. Just send me a message. Say, hey Martin, your video got me thinking. I've kind of got this situation. You're probably right. I've been suffering for a little bit too long. The pain is definitely real. I need some different questions to ask. I need a different meaning to what's happening in my life. Can you help? And if we need to have a conversation about it, then we can. It's what I do. I help people with their stress and reducing it, from that high stress at work, about their workload. I help people break through the stories and the belief that they've got, so they're not living their best life. They're not living their most extraordinary life. So we just slay those dragons and help them move forward positively, help people get that clarity and that purpose back into their life. So this is what I do. And I guess this video is sort of demonstrating to you that I practice what I preach. Everything is lived experience, life lessons, and I don't talk about, coach, mentor, train on anything that I haven't experienced myself. And maybe this is a good example. It's a bit extreme, but it is what it is. And if we can move forward positively with this, then it's got to be a good thing. So share your insights from this below. If you need some support, you know where I am. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again real soon. Thank you so much for watching.